The last thing we talked about was how Ryan Moody proposed to you over the internet. The fifth time he proposed to you. And then you finally gave in and you agreed to get married. Now, how did that go?
This was like a week into our relationship. So I don't remember exactly if we had the conversation, so will you marry me? But it was always when we talked, he would tell me like, can you come over here? Can you hurry up and fly to me so I can put this ring from the blue box on your finger and ask you the most important question of my life. So it was always things like that.
Okay. And so when did you finally agree to saying, okay, after being with him for a week, and then you finally said, you know what? Okay, let's get married.
Probably a few weeks later, and I was down.
Yeah, okay. You're a few weeks. So that's the thing that gets me confused is the part with the Airbnb conversation that I think Ryan Moody said that you got an Airbnb close to his home, or you rented out an Airbnb. How did that work?
See, this is what makes me mad, because he made it seem like I was just this person obsessed with him. But like, he had me believing we were going to buy a house together. First, he wanted me to live with his mom and move out there, and me and my child to live with his mother. And I said, no, like, I'm not moving from California to over there. And my child likes the school she goes to, thank you. So he had me believing that I was going to move from the place I was at, because I had a male roommate. And that situation wasn't the best. So I needed to move anyways, but he had me convinced to go stay at an Airbnb, like hurry up and get into an Airbnb because I'm going to fly out there and we're going to be looking at houses to buy.
Okay.
And I don't think he would have let me and his mom hang out alone anyways, because she doesn't know he does YouTube. So he would we would talk back and forth, me and his mom, through him, because like he was so worried that I was going to tell his mom that he did YouTube. So like I don't think he would allow us to hang out anyways. Like he keeps that under lock and key. Like his mom cannot know that.
One of the striking things that you told me was he did threaten another YouTuber to you. And I just wanted to get that information out there so this YouTuber is aware that, you know, this person did threaten him.
Yeah, so his dad knows he does YouTube. It's weird. His mom can't know, but his dad knows. And I guess his dad looks up videos about him. And he found Zachary Michael's video. He called me and he was like, my dad saw, and he called Zachary Michael a not nice name at all, but you know, he saw this pink haired blankety blank. He saw the video and he was like, I'm gonna effing end him, I'm gonna hurt him. And he actually said the word, but he was like, he lives a few states over from me, he doesn't live far. So it was when he was like also threatening himself though too. So he was just, I don't know.
You got the Airbnb because he told you, hey, I need you to move out. Now he accuses that you were living in with the live-in boyfriend, and while he was sending you food, he was the live-in boyfriend. His name is Luis, I believe.
His name is Juan, but no.
Okay. And that was your live-in boyfriend, and you were kind of like playing him, like you were kind of like with him, and then you were with Ryan Moody at the same time.
Well, I had a relationship with that person over a year ago, and we had ended things, but we also had a place like together. So moving out was just kind of like, okay, we're separated, but we're roommates. And we had been broken up for like a year before I even started talking to Ryan, which he knows that. And I want to say Ryan made it sound like every month he was helping me with food, and he sent me like 2 vegan boxes and an Instacart once. And like, mind you, this is somebody we're engaged. So like, he's making it sound like I bummed money off of him. Like when you're in a relationship, or you think you are, and you say, hey, I'm kind of hurting right now, like, can you help me this one time with Instacart? He made it sound like he was just covering all my bills or something, and that's not how it was at all.
Is that the reason why Ryan Moody wanted to like have you move away from your current home at the time? Do you think it was because of jealousy? Like he was thinking like maybe you were hooking up with
Well, see, we had a conversation shortly before I moved to the Airbnb where he was like, you know, I'm kind of worried about our future together. And I was like, why? He's like, you still live with a man. And he, like, for the next few days made my life to the point, I'm going to say it was hell. And like, I remember looking on my computer day and night trying to find affordable Airbnbs for me and my daughter, like, and my dog.
Yeah. When you got engaged with Ryan Moody and you moved to your Airbnb, and you were waiting for Ryan Moody, you wrote him a message that said, your future bonus daughter says good night and we love you so much. hoping we can talk to you by next weekend. Thank you for teaching me the things I needed. So when you say your future daughter, you meant to tell that Ryan Moody, hey, this is your bonus. You get me and you get my daughter.
I think people don't realize, like, I realize I play a part in this. My part was like, I should have never got my child involved, or, you know, it's not like they had these long conversations on the phone, but I would talk through them, like, oh, Ryan says hi, Ryan says this, and she would say hi back. And he promised us this, like, future as a family together, you know what I mean? But, like, I learned a hard lesson here. No, like, it's not okay, because my daughter, when I went through the breakup, so did my daughter.
You only knew this guy for like 2 weeks on the internet, and you got engaged with him. Do you think that it was like a little bit crazy, like you're getting engaged with a guy that you only known on the internet for 2 weeks, and you're involving your daughter, like this is your bonus daughter, and you never met this man?
It's one of the biggest regrets I have in my life. But my responsibility in this is, ever involving my child in this. And, you know, Ryan's good at what he does and playing the part. And I think he studies people I truly believe that. But he laid it on thick with me. And, like, you know, he promises you all the things you want in your head. And it sounds so great.
Now, you do a lot of Chantel Foodie Beauty content.
Yeah.
Reacting to Foodie Beauty's relationships and her walk of life and everything that she does. Now, she had a clapback at you, basically saying, like, hey, like, you over here reacting to my life when you over here dating a guy that you only met for 2 weeks, engaged with them, and then throwing your daughter in it. And she always mentions how like she was about to call your daughter was about to call a man that you barely met for 2 weeks, daddy.
Yeah.
Do you think that she is standing on something? Like, she's saying, hey, you're reacting to my life, you're shitting on me every day, but everything's not copacetic in your life. You know what I mean?
I actually made a community post like a while ago saying I felt like the biggest hypocrite once all this stuff came out. Like, I actually apologized in my community post saying, like, I was judging your life. Meanwhile, I was going through pretty much the same exact thing. But in that aspect where I was making fun of her for being head over heels when she was with Nader for like 7 days, like, I felt like a hypocrite, and I did apologize for that.
You mentioned to me how Ryan Moody kept you caged in, and basically we talked about how he would keep you around by basically threatening to kill himself or off himself, and then you would get all into the whole, like, oh babe, please don't do that, I'm here for you. And that was like entrapment. And then Ryan Moody clapped back and he said, well, wait a minute, okay, I did that to her, but then he clapped back and he said, you also did the same things to him. Like, he would be like, okay, I'm gone, I'm out of it, and then you would send up something and show photos of you saying, I'm gonna kill myself.
That was an isolated incident. I already talked about it in a video too. Ryan had this thing where he would, like, punish me literally, and like to see how much I would apologize, and like to see, like, it would go on for days and days and days. And though that is not his fault, I got to a freaking broken point in my mind where I was honestly wondering, I'm like, this isn't what I got sober for. I got sober to be unhappy. This isn't what I got sober for. Like, my mind just went through a really dark place, and, like, I sent that. And at that time, I really felt like I wanted to do something to myself, and thank God I didn't, and I kind of woke up from the fog. But that was an isolated incident, and he never let me forget that. Like, whereas after that, I started going to therapy a lot. And, you know, I feel horrible that I thought that way. I feel awful, like, that I even sent that. But can I explain the hell that he put me through over that moment where I genuinely didn't want to be here, versus a week straight after everything came out, him calling me saying, don't hang up, I have a gun to my head, and me saying, do you want me to call the police? No, because then I'll really do it. So one isolated incident, it's okay for 7 days of it?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm truly sorry I did that. Like, I feel, when I'm looking back on it, like, I was so broken, like, in my mind. I was so mentally broken, beat down. It felt like I couldn't do anything right. It was just...
You blocked Ryan Moody from everywhere. You didn't want to talk to Ryan Moody no more. You didn't want to be in a relationship. You didn't want nothing to do with Ryan Moody. And he kept trying to get with you and get back with you. Now, Ryan Moody also posted and he said, well, wait a minute. She also did the same thing. Now, here in a text message, he says, how could I ever have anyone back in my life that acts like this? Hundreds of messages when I simply asked you to stop. And then you replied, so are we over? I mean, this is an obvious text message saying, like, we're done.
Like, that's before Jessica Messica and everything blew up. That's way before.
So, I mean, is it the same? I mean, is it the same thing? You broke it off with him and he just kept going. And then he broke it off with you and then you kept going. Like, is it just the same kind of like back and forth?
I never broke things off until the very end when the Zachary Michael threat happened, when more and more women started coming out about him. Like, I started finding out more. I didn't like what I hear. And then eventually I just stopped answering the calls. So if he's threatening to harm himself, then like, I can't help him. Like, I'm not answering his calls anymore. I sent that way before the whole thing at the end. But you have to realize, like, he liked me to beg for him back. Like, there's so many times he would get mad at me and ice me out for 3 days. And then, like, he'd want to see, so you're not even sorry? Like, you're not even going to do this? Like, he liked to see me beg for him back. Our relationship was toxic and effed up. Like, it was effed up.
You said in your video, you said Ryan Moody tried to get back. You know, he tried to contact, you know, your sister. And he kept contacting your sister. And your sister has things that she's dealing with, and she doesn't want to deal with nothing. You know, she doesn't want to deal with the situation with Ryan Moody trying to get in contact with you, because he kept trying to get in contact with you, but you blocked him everywhere. So the best way he can get in contact with you was through your sister. But then Ryan Moody clapped and he said, wait a minute, the only reason why I got to her sister to get to you is because originally you did the same thing by when he blocked you everywhere and all over the universe. You got your sister to contact Ryan Moody, and she hit him with the hello, this is her name, sister. She wants to please call her urgently. No need to text back. Laugh out loud.
What is the date on that? My sister sent that months ago?
She sent that Wednesday, August 31st. When he blocked you everywhere, and you couldn't get in contact with him. So you went through your sister to get in contact with him.
He never actually blocked me anywhere, because he would text me. He's not showing all his side. He's showing things. But hold on, I want to address this because this is annoying, and this made my mom and my sister mad too. Mm-hmm. She sent this in August, right? In August.
She sent that in August.
Yeah, my sister sent that in August when me and him were fighting, and she was like, "Do you want me to just ask like for him to call you?" I was like, "Yeah, that's my sister. We're 2 years apart. We're close."
So wait,
hold on, that's 2 months ago. That's 2 months ago. How does he justify just last week blowing up her phone? So just because she contacted him 2 months ago, he can't get a hold of me when I'm actually talking and on a panel with you, so he blows up her phone? He sent her 12 messages and 3 calls.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was saying it when I saw it, because when I mean, we only heard one side, but then we were asking like, wait a minute, how did he get your sister's contact? And your sister contacted him because he said that he didn't want, he blocked all contact from you, and you went through your sister to get to him. So it's kind of like, why would you go through your sister? You know, if you if I'm done with the girl, I don't want her relative or anybody in her family to contact me and be like, yo, she really wants to talk to you, hit her up. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. I like, you know.
I think when people are getting confused, they think Ryan actually broke up with me. The big fight that caused our whole downfall thing was I couldn't remember his mom's name. He wanted me to send her a birthday package, some jams from Knott's Berry Farm. And I couldn't remember her name. I was at UPS about to ship it. And I literally sent a text saying, hey, what's your mom's name again? Because I always call her Mrs. Moody or like just mom. And he got so offended, so mad, told me like, oh, I'm going through this Madden thing right now. I told you this is going to be a hard time in my life. We need to not talk for a few days. And then I'd hear from him and he would then go a week and all this stuff. And then I ended up finding out about Jessica. But people are thinking he actually broke it off. No. Like, I'm actually the one who finally ended things and said, like, do not call me anymore. I'm blocking you everywhere. So I know it's confusing to everybody.
you came out to Ryan Moody because you heard that people were saying that Ryan Moody was talking about your daughter, like he was mentioning your daughter. But was it in any videos or any links, or it was like just some personal conversations that you were having?
I was seeing things in comment sections, actually. So I don't know if he's cleaned them up or not, but I started seeing things. People were telling me specific things in my DMs that like I knew came from him, but like they making things just really horrible. And then I want to say too, he keeps saying in the comment section that me and Jessica were just trying to bum money off of him, which wasn't true. Like, what money? Like, he's being sued. All his money's tied up. Like, he has no money.
That made you fire off. And when you fired off, Ryan Moody fired off, basically hitting up your sister, telling you to stop. Please stop talking about me and stop mentioning me in your videos. Stop going on these panels and mentioning me and talking about me. You went to the courthouse to file a doxing order on Ryan Moody because Ryan Moody mentioned your daughter in a message.
I was on my way to the courthouse. It was me, my sister, my nephews, my daughter. And my mom called and she's like, you need to go to the police first. And I said, why? And she said, because they're going to ask, did you say anything? Did you file anything? So I went and sat in a police station for hours and hours and hours. My sister, everything, you know, my mom, she ended up meeting us there. Me, my daughter, I showed her videos. I showed her comments. I showed text messages. And basically what she did is documented everything. And she said the next step would be going to Pomona Courthouse and getting a temporary restraining order. If he keeps it up and keeps bothering me and keeps doxing and keeps doing stuff like that. And then if I want to get a permanent, I'd actually have to fly to Maryland to get it. So it's going to be a process. So far, it's been quiet and he's left us alone.
Yeah. This was because he mentioned your daughter in a text message. He mentioned your daughter. So you went out there and you said, he's to the court, he's doxing my daughter, you know, and
showing her. He made a video showing my daughter's name, which nobody knows on my channel. Well, now they do, but I always called her Breezy Jr., you know.
Yeah. And then you went to the police station and you also, you know, you filed the same thing, the doxing of your, because you the only one that knows your daughter's name, and Ryan Moody mentioned your daughter's name in a text message.
Yeah, not just in a text message. He showed it in his videos. Right. I know stuff about him that like really would get offline, but like to bring up my daughter who's 10, like why did you need to keep her name in that video? Like it's just crazy. He doxed my name once before too when the Jessica stuff came out, and he said that, you know, he apologized to Jennifer because he forgot to break off the relationship. He doxed my name. Nobody knew my name was Jennifer until he did that.
Now, I look up a lot of the doxing because YouTube and everybody, this whole doxing thing is getting out of control. Now, a first name is not considered doxing. If you use a first last name, you're there. If you use somebody's addresses, you're really there. But with your daughter though, he only said half of her name. He didn't even say her whole name. Correct? Which
makes it more dangerous. Like, what if somebody tries to her nickname? That yes, he knew that, and that makes it more dangerous. So if my daughter's waiting outside of school,
how can somebody find your daughter with her nickname?
It makes it. First of all, my daughter is now online. People know her name now online. You don't think that that's dangerous? That somebody knows a child's nickname? Somebody can show up to a school and say, "Hey." Let's say her nickname is Breezy Jr. and that's really her name. Hey, Breezy Jr., I know your mom. Or like, it's just creepy to me. It's weird. And like, I don't know if you have kids, but if you don't want to qualify it as doxing, fine, but it's still morally wrong and it's effed up. Like, nobody knew her name. Why do that?
Okay. So you went to the police station to file this. Okay, you went to the police station to file a doxing on Ryan Moody on saying your daughter's half name. And I looked up what the police was doing that day. You took resources away from the police station.
Are you serious?
I am because
I
just want to tell you what was going on that day. That day, the police were dealing with off-duty daughter killed in crash near that area. 3-time drunk driver they had to arrest. Another person found dead by heavy rain they had to find. 25 sheriffs and police recruits that morning training were all hit by SUV. All this was going on, the police had to deal with. And then on top of that, you go in and you take police resources away because a guy said your daughter's nickname?
That I have text messages on my phone with him talking about hurting himself with guns. He is not a normal person. He threatened Zachary Michael. Like, you don't know the stuff that he's done in his life that I know. So pardon me that he's harassing my sister with a special needs son. Yeah. 12 messages. That's harassment.
But you also did the same thing to him.
I clearly just went and had them document every text he sent me saying he's going to hurt himself. Every text threatening me. Everything else. My sister showed the text messages and the calls. Like, it was important to get that on file, because if he doesn't stop bothering us, like, he's a crazy guy who threatens people with guns.
But look at what the police has to deal with that day. That the police have to deal with.
You're taking time away from my life.
You knew I knew it was coming. Greatest goddamn stream of all time.